Of a sudden we were told the next guest is on her way. It's Jennifer Lopez. You guys need to clear the room. Everybody needs. And suddenly there was an instant panic. And again, I've been to a lot of talk shows in the green room with a lot of actors, and I'd never had that experience. So when we all went to the elevator, I realized, I forgot my overcoat. So I went back into the room to get my overcoat that was hanging over a chair. And when I turned around, Jennifer walked into the room. She looked at me. So I said, "Hello, Jennifer." I said, "We work together on Monster-in-Law." Jennifer just looked at me, just gave me a blank stare, and then looked away to her bodyguards as if, "You were told to get this trash and clear the room. Why isn't this room cleared?"
Jennifer Lopez's rude attitude isn't exactly shocking anymore. It's practically her signature move. At the Golden Globes, she showed up and acted like she was doing everyone a favor just by being there. When it came time for her Glambot moment, she didn't even try to hide the attitude. No smile, no eye contact, no acknowledgement of anyone around her. People on the carpet could literally feel that cold energy coming off her. Ben Affleck, meanwhile, seems to be keeping a bit of space between himself and J.Lo lately. Sources say he's doing his best to protect his kids, especially since Jennifer's been dressing a little too flashy and acting too provocative even when she's just hanging out with his young son. It's starting to make things awkward, like really awkward. Let's be real. At this point, Jennifer Lopez can't escape that rude label. It's not even a rumor anymore because we keep seeing actual proof of it. This latest example, the Golden Globes Glambot moment. The operator, Cole, who's known for working with tons of stars, usually gets warm smiles and playful poses from celebrities. But when J.Lo stepped up, total frost. She didn't even glance his way. Big respect to Cole for dropping the behind-the-scenes clip because without it, no one would have believed how dismissive she really was. Go ahead and check it out. It says it all. People couldn't help but call out Jennifer Lopez's attitude after that awkward Glambot moment, and the comments were absolutely brutal. One person joked, "Oh, rude for that. Oh, okay, bad lighting maybe?" Another chimed in saying the vibe was so icy that you could just see the rude energy through the screen. Cole, the Glambot operator, got flooded with sympathy messages. One comment read, "My favorite part was when she didn't look at, speak to, or smile at you." Another person laughed and asked, "Jesus, Cole, did J.Lo even say one word to you?" People were shocked, and they weren't shy about calling her out. This doesn't help her reputation of being rude. LOL, someone wrote while another added, "Such a cold thing to do. You're always so sweet, Cole. Everyone loves talking to you, but not everybody knows how to be kind." And then came the harsh one. "It's okay, Cole. No one likes her anyway." Others took it even further. One person claimed, "So the rumors are true. I bet she ignored you because she thought you weren't famous enough. She seems like the type to only smile if you're someone big in the industry." Ouch. But the twist? They added, "Little did she know, Cole's the king of award shows, and now over 10 million people just saw her true colors." Another viewer said they felt totally let down. "I was expecting something amazing, but instead I just saw a woman walking upstairs looking distracted, not even giving a side eye." And to top it off, someone who supposedly worked with her shared, "He's not a petty guy, never says mean stuff, but he said, with a serious face, that she's a monster." That's a bold claim. That moment might have been years ago, but it still says a lot about J.Lo's attitude. Cole, the guy who runs the Glambot, is seriously a saint. He's out here trying to keep it classy while still letting people know what really went down. He explained that red carpets can get super chaotic. Flashing lights, shouting photographers, tons of people yelling directions all at once. It's a lot to handle.
Everybody on the internet needs to just calm down. I do get asked all the time, who was the worst Glambot? And honestly, I don't have an answer. I mean, literally, I've never felt that people were like rude to me in that moment. The world is just so crazy that like when people are distracted or like less chatty or like thinking about other stuff, I don't take it personally. And even with J.Lo, like I didn't take it personally. I didn't feel rude in that moment. I think there's a couple things that sort of like added to the fuel of this idea. One, like she's just down to business. The carpet was closed, she's ready to go inside. She knew what she was gonna do. You know, she got into the position, and I think it's just like unfortunate that the position was she was facing away from me.
Cole even tried to give Jennifer some grace, saying that some celebs just get quiet when they're working and that he didn't want to take her coldness personally. But let's be real. The entire internet took it personally for him. People couldn't believe how dismissive she seemed. Still, Cole handled it with pure professionalism, refusing to drag her, even though the video basically spoke for itself. There's even a clip of Cole talking about his experience with J.Lo, and it's pretty telling. This whole situation kind of feels like deja vu because Jennifer Lopez has had similar moments on plenty of red carpets. Remember the Met Gala during her messy breakup with Ben? That was a stressful time, sure, but even then, her attitude stood out. When reporters tried to ask who she was wearing, she barely responded. It was like she couldn't be bothered. Those poor reporters were just desperate for a quote, like, please, just give us something. Jennifer Lopez didn't give those reporters anything, not even a polite nod or a short answer. She just strutted past them, gave one sharp look, and kept it moving. That single look went viral, spreading across social media like wildfire. It's wild how one cold glance can define a whole reputation, but that's exactly what's happening here. Every time she shows up at an event, people start whispering like, brace yourselves, J.Lo's coming through. You can even hear a reporter calling out, what are you wearing tonight? And getting absolutely nothing in return. That kind of silence said more than words ever could. And this isn't even the first time people have called her out for that attitude. A hairstylist named Manuel Miller spilled some serious tea on a podcast, saying that both Anne Hathaway and Jennifer Lopez were the worst A-listers he'd ever worked with. He didn't sugarcoat a thing. Manuel shared that when he worked with J.Lo, she wouldn't even acknowledge his existence. She just stared at him blankly, then looked straight at her bodyguards. It was like she silently told them, get him out of here. Apparently, she demanded the entire room be cleared before she walked in, like she needed total silence and space just to make an entrance. Nobody really knows why, but it left everyone stunned. It's like she's saying, get this trash out of my space. That's the kind of energy people feel around J.Lo. Imagine how draining that must be for the folks working near her, constantly being treated like they don't matter. It's rough, especially for service workers who are just trying to do their jobs with respect. One woman named Kayla shared that her dad worked for a company that provided drivers for high-profile clients, and what he said about J.Lo's rules was shocking. According to him, her drivers weren't even allowed to look at her or speak to her directly. They couldn't glance at her through the rearview mirror either. If they did, they'd be in serious trouble.
Same, and I'm gonna try to tell them really quickly. 2 stories about Jennifer Lopez being an awful human being. So number 1, when she has drivers, the number 1 rule she has for them is they can't look at her, they can't talk to her, and her luggage is never allowed to touch the ground. If any of those things happen, she will go out of her way to make sure you get fired. Even if you have to look in the rearview mirror while you're driving, she will call that you trying to look at her and proceed to berate you. And I know this because my dad worked for that driving company, and he refused to drive her whenever she came in town because of how awful she treated the drivers.
That's next level strict. And get this, she apparently has a rule that her luggage can never touch the ground. Like ever. That's one of her specific demands. It's wild to think about how far her diva rules seem to go. Like I mentioned before, service workers probably get the worst of it whenever J.Lo steps out. The stories keep piling up, and they're not pretty. One person even claimed that Ben Affleck has one of the worst reputations in the casino world, saying, "We hate him! He's cheap and rude to other players." And according to the same source, J.Lo's reputation isn't much better. She's supposedly known for being stingy too. The woman even said, J.Lo tells Ben not to tip. But here's where it gets even messier. A server who worked one of their tables said that Ben's tipping habits were bad way before J.Lo came into the picture. He doesn't tip anymore anyway, the server claimed, so J.Lo doesn't even have to tell him. Still, the wildest part of the story was what came next. The server recalled one unforgettable night. Ben was at a poker table, just relaxing, and out of nowhere, he handed her a massive $10,000 tip. Sounds generous, right? But apparently when J.Lo found out, she wasn't having it. She reportedly snatched the cash back. People said Ben looked embarrassed beyond belief. To make things right, Ben supposedly sent the server a huge bouquet of flowers and a $25,000 tip the next day. Talk about guilt money, and here's the kicker. A lot of these stories have mysteriously disappeared from the internet. People suspect they got hit with cease and desist letters or maybe even threats of legal action from J.Lo or Ben's team. It's almost like they're trying to wipe the slate clean, but the internet never forgets. Someone on TikTok recently spilled some serious behind-the-scenes tea through a friend, and it's not painting J.Lo in a good light. Their friend happens to be one of J.Lo's background singers, and apparently, working for her is no easy ride. Those singers are out there giving it their all, but according to this friend, J.Lo treats them like they're invisible. That's rough, especially when they're part of what makes her performances shine. The singer allegedly said that J.Lo's whole attitude completely flips depending on who's in the room. When it's just women around, she reportedly acts cold and dismissive. But the second a man walks in, boom, her energy changes. She turns on the charm. People say it's because she sees other women as competition and doesn't want to share the spotlight. That kind of vibe can make any workplace feel tense. And since Ben Affleck's name popped up again, let's get into something interesting about him. Apparently, he's got a long-standing fascination with Beyoncé. We might have never known about it if Jennifer Garner hadn't mentioned it in an interview, saying she had to survive Ben's obsession with the superstar. She revealed that he'd play Beyoncé's Halo non-stop while filming The Town. Picture this, she's at home in Massachusetts with 2 little kids, and Ben's blasting that same song over and over again. Jennifer Garner once said she'd be nursing while Ben was blasting Halo on repeat. And honestly, that sounds kind of peaceful. Still, nobody really knows why she decided to tell that story publicly, but she did, and people definitely noticed. Now, let's be real. J.Lo probably already knows about Ben's Beyoncé obsession, and she's definitely not thrilled about it. You can almost imagine her rolling her eyes thinking, "Really? You don't even play my music?" Things probably got a little awkward when both Jennifers, Lopez and Garner, showed up at the Golden Globes. Even though they were in the same place, they didn't pose for a single photo together. Clearly, they were trying to avoid headlines like Ben Affleck's exes reunite. And while both of them looked stunning that night, a lot of people online were saying Jennifer Garner's look stole the show. But here's where things get messy again. J.Lo thought it'd be a sweet move to invite Ben's kids to one of her Las Vegas performances. On paper, that sounds nice, right? But Jennifer Garner reportedly wasn't too happy about it. Sources say Garner was uncomfortable because J.Lo's show was filled with some very bold performances and provocative dance moves, not exactly family-friendly. Ben supposedly felt the same way, trying to smile through it while clearly squirming in his seat. Imagine sitting there with your kids watching your ex's partner performing wild dance routines on stage. It's gotta be a weird experience for everyone involved. Both Ben and Jennifer Garner seemed pretty uneasy, and you can't really blame them for that. What's even stranger is how excited J.Lo seemed to be about getting Ben's kids to come see her show. Like she couldn't wait to show them every wild moment on stage. It's definitely a bold move, and people are still debating whether it was sweet or straight up awkward. But shifting gears, did you all catch how Ben Affleck somehow got dragged into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City drama? Yeah, that actually happened. This recent season has been packed with chaos, and somehow Ben's name got thrown right into the mix. Lisa Barlow decided to name drop him out of nowhere, saying she went to an event where both Ben and Blake Lively were supposedly there. And shout out to Brittany Bateman. She follows me on Instagram and is one of my absolute faves. Anyway, the situation blew up fast. Reporters actually asked Ben if he remembered ever meeting Lisa Barlow or attending that event, and his reaction was priceless. He looked totally confused and said something like, "I don't even know who this woman is." Of course, Lisa wasn't about to let that slide. She came back swinging with receipts, dropping an ancient photo of her and Ben together. The pic's super old, but she's holding on to it like proof that she's not making it up. Now everyone's debating whether she exaggerated or if Ben's just pretending to forget. Wow. Talk about secondhand embarrassment. If I were Lisa Barlow, I'd be cringing so hard right now. At least she had some old school receipts to back herself up, because without those, it would have looked even worse. Still, the whole situation just added another awkward chapter to this never-ending Hollywood drama. And as for J.Lo, she continues to be the center of chaos, whether it's red carpets, rumors, or relationships. She's always in the spotlight, and somehow it's never quiet around her. Meanwhile, Ben Affleck looks like he's just trying to keep his cool through all of it. Maybe it's time for him to take a breather, step away from the spotlight a bit, and just focus on peace for once. Who knows? Maybe Ana de Armas might even give him a second chance someday. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's deep dive into the latest celebrity mess. If you like this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment with your thoughts below. I love hearing what you all think. Don't forget to stay tuned for more wild updates coming soon.